Welcome to April's Garage, and we've been all seeing the sheer utter devastation that is just sweeping through California, the California fires, decimating thousands and thousands of acres. Death toll up to about 24 people right now.
Right.
It's just absolutely heart-wrenching, devastating.
The loss of lives is a big deal, and the houses, and that's what everybody's talking about. Since we're sort of a car-bent channel,
Sure.
the cars that are going to be lost are going to be significant as well. Because I mean, LA is the car mecca when it comes to collecting, when it comes to just the amazing preservation thanks to the environment there is perfect for it, and all the great restorers out there, amazing shops, and they are really feeling it as well, unfortunately. So there's going to be a huge loss to car collections, as far as we don't know yet, as far as some blue chip cars that are in these beautiful homes out there that are gone, irreplaceable things. But
right. Well, and that's the thing. It's your home. It's your personal home. You can always replace it, but there's that sentimental value and attachment to it. And I have to go to the Grand National that we have. Yes, there are lots of Grand Nationals, but there's not the specific Grand National that you bought at the Palm Beach auction
to kick things off
with
Florida, April,
to start our relationship off. That specific Grand National behind us means so much, and so you can't just replace something like that with an identical one.
I just traded it for a GNX.
What? Really?
Yeah. See, okay. Now, see,
Okay.
you'd be okay, but
Right.
yeah. I mean, so 100% of the proceeds of this video are going to go to a fire relief fund. We'll put it in the link below. Other YouTubers are sharing it, the Tiltify Relief Fund. Yeah, with that, I thought I'd share some cool stories that I've seen from the fire relating to cars, and then there's some clips. Some of them are heartbreaking, some of them are fascinating. And it's sort of deja vu from years past, where there's a Toyota Tundra that was rescuing people through the fire in Northern California. They're like all melted and still running and driving. Well, Toyota proving themselves again to be darn near invincible. This Tacoma, the guy's house burned to the ground with his Tacoma in the driveway, melted the thing on the outside. It was a white Tacoma, and probably now has that desert tan that everybody's all popularizing or whatever.
That's true. Yeah, it's
but
a
that's
trendy color
just
now.
The paint being burned on this thing. The bumpers melted off entirely.
So
the
are
headlights.
the fenders a different material? Because they really melted.
Right, on the four-wheel drives to give them a little extra cladding, has the fender flares that have melted, the headlights, the grille is melted in a really interesting way. But thing started right up, drives fine, he filled it up, he is using it now and plans on fixing it.
Right.
It's totally fine, none of the wiring, nothing inside. He's going to replace the tires as preventative, but saw his house burn down, and it made his day, is what he said, where he went in, he got in his Tacoma, started up like it was any other day, no problem at all.
That's really cool to see.
And then one person really cared about their car collection, so they dumped it at a McDonald's parking lot. A 300 SL Gullwing, a Ferrari 430, Eleanor Mustang 190 SL, S-Class, so millions of dollars of cars just hanging out at McDonald's until the fire passes, which,
I mean, that's what you have to do. You have to put them and keep them somewhere safe.
Well, the insurance claim, obviously, of the car, if everything burns down, but then, replacing them would be very challenging.
So how does that work with insurance? Do you feel like they would actually match the value? Do you guess the value? How do you really know the actual value of these cars?
On my insurance, it's agreed value on all these collector cars out here. And you could go for an agreed value that's more, and so like a 300 SL Gullwing is something that keeps going up.
Right.
And you do want to increase the value, but at the same time, then the insurance price goes up. Right. So say you bought the Gullwing 10, 15 years ago for $500,000, $750,000, and now it's a $2 million car, but if you didn't update your insurance, then obviously you can't replace the car.
Right.
On normal insurance, on a normal car, what people are going to have to do is negotiate with the insurance companies where, okay, these 3 cars are for sale. Say if this guy was totaling out his Tacoma. Well, there's 3 Tacomas from 2013 right here for sale. Here's 10 for sale in a 300-mile radius. The average price between all of them is this.
Right.
And that's what we're going to give you. And you can take it, you can dispute it, negotiate, or go to a lawyer and really go crazy. So it was a challenge with me because I actually had a car that burned to the ground, a Ferrari 355 in California. Thankfully,
Right.
not during the Santa Ana winds. It didn't spark a fire that burned down to
But you were the owner of that car at the time, right?
Yes, so I shipped it out there to California for Monterey Car Week, and I had a friend, a YouTuber, drive it for his video.
Right.
And I didn't do the fuel line recall, and it's totally my fault. I thought I'd wait till after Car Week, leave it somewhere like at the Ferrari dealer in California to do the recall, and then have it sent back, 95 355. Waited just a little too long because the fuel line ruptured, hit the engine as far as the fuel, spark fire, burned to the ground.
So how were you notified that that was happening?
He called me and said that your car's burning to the ground. I said, oh, how very funny, Parker.
Right.
And it was true. He had to put a firefighter on and say, your car's on fire. And I heard the police radio, and that's when I knew it was probably real. And he sent me pictures like, oh, this is really real. But this was before I had a big car collection.
Right.
So I was using my normal insurance company that I had for my Toyota Prius or whatever.
Sure.
And I had to negotiate with the insurance company because they found the 3 crappiest, cheapest 355s for sale in the country and based it on those prices.
Really?
Like accident history, which is a big deal in a Ferrari, mileage, a 20,000 mile Ferrari and a 40,000 mile Ferrari is a huge, huge difference.
Right.
And in other cars is maybe not so much, and when they're old, that's still really low miles. But in the Ferrari world, that's the difference between like a really used car and a low mileage car in the Ferrari world, and condition, all that stuff. So I had to go there and pick apart all the comps they sent. And then I sent the most expensive 3 comps that I could find that were like ridiculously priced, low mile, 2,000 mile, all that stuff. And then we met somewhere in the middle. So
Right.
it was definitely a process. But it was one car, not
Do
a
you
whole
talk to this
collection.
guy at all? Are you mad at him?
No, it wasn't his fault at all. He was just driving the car, making a video, and taking delivery of it for me as a favor.
Right.
So, no, there's no bad blood with that
At
all.
the time, did you panic and just completely, does your heart just kind of fall to the
It
floor
was,
when
it
it
was
was
just
happening?
very shocking. So, but at the same time, it wasn't shocking because I was planning on having that fixed. I
Right.
just waited a little bit too long.
Yeah.
But that was just one car. It wasn't my entire collection, my entire house, everything
Right.
I own. So obviously, nuts. Just nuts. I can't imagine the loss with that.
Sure.
We have tornadoes out here that can do that, but we don't have fires in that sense.
Have you
so.
had a car in the path of a tornado before?
No, I mean there's the YMCA where people had their cars picked up and thrown into the YMCA and lost their cars that way.
Is
and
this
their homes and things.
building like,
It's rated for up to an F3,
okay.
and it should be pretty fireproof from. In
I
that
like
sense.
the adjective pretty. It should be pretty fireproof.
Well, so like if a car, like if one of the Italian cars got,
Yeah.
quirky and decided to light up on the inside, then yeah, I'm in trouble. But as far as like in a wildfire from the outside, not that we would get that in
Sure.
Kansas, the metal building and all that stuff, the steel, it would be fine
Right.
with that. So.
If you had to save, if you could only choose a couple of these cars.
If the world was burning and I had to jump in and get one car out of here, it'd be Graham Miller says,
Well,
oh,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
The Bugatti, that would be bad. I'd feel really bad for my insurance company.
Sure.
So, but here's what I'm talking about when it comes to like California and being the car guy mecca. And it's like every street you go down, just driving around, you just see amazing things, just car spotting, just in people's driveways, the collections they amass. They can sit outside in California because the climate's so gentle, it doesn't
of
really
course.
hurt
Well,
anything.
even when you're buying cars, I'm like, what
But-
state is it in? Was it in California? You know it's going to be a good car.
This correspondent nailed it. Amanda Starantino. Really impressive
long time
what you did
until
here
then,
with the
but
cars.
I want to show you this picture here. Just look at this street. It's beautiful. These trees, you can only imagine what a beautiful neighborhood this was. But then the reality is every single direction you look at this intersection here in Altadena is destroyed. All these homes are down. These was just lined with homes. And so homes, yes, they can be replaced. Those memories though, hopefully people were able to get some photos, anything, keepsakes
Had a
before they
pretty
had
good
to
rigs
quickly
to get around
evacuate
as far as
yours.
their news rig
But there's some
beforehand.
things that
That's
you
not
just
bad.
can't replace, and this property really just caught our eye here. All these classic old cars, and I looked at the Google images of what this street looked like. This was a beautiful green car parked right in front. So this is a 1940s Chevy. It's got the old 3-spoke
See?
wheel. Those are hard to come by. The spare tire.
She's
kit
doing a
on
Barrett
it.
Jackson
This is
hit
like
on a burned to the
those
ground
gunning
car.
for my
cars
job
you
right
see
now.
that has a suicide door, so it opened like this. You can't replace this.
It's the banjo
You got
wheel.
another
She left out that.
1947 coupe right here.
She's doing pretty good
You can't
for
even tell
not being
that
a
this
car.
car
Oh, yeah.
is here.
47
Because
coupe.
the fire completely took
Yeah,
over
what
it.
was
But
that?
my photographer Mike looks back on that car back there. This one is pretty cool. It's a 1960s Lincoln Continental.
Yeah, look at the-
this is like the car that President
The
JFK
garage door
rode in.
melted
That's
on
like
it. So that was a
convertible.
garage there.
Really neat to see.
that Lincoln
Another
back there.
Chevy next to
Yeah.
it. We have some Oldsmobiles over here. You can tell by their front, very distinct. And then we have one more
Yeah,
neat one
front
that I
wheel drive
wanna show you
Oldsmobile
over here.
Tornado. Yeah, she's
This
right.
is
So
DeSoto.
cool.
It's a custom right here in front. And so if you look at some video that we showed you, my photographer, Mike McGregor, who's with me, he shot this while all of this was going up in flames, and he had to stop because he collects classic cars as well, and it's just devastating to see what people left behind. And you know, the homes are so hard, and for some people, cars are just as important to them. So these important keepsakes that people really put their heart into, you know, memories are surrounded by these cars. People bring them to shows, they bring people together, and they're just left here. And it just looks like a Hollywood scene. And if you look behind me, this is a beautiful, huge home for people. It looks like it has a wonderful backyard. And
The front door gate's still standing, the chimney, but then that's it. But she nailed the car thing, like going around doing a walk and talk with all the cars.
She's
like, it's
good.
harder than it looks to be able to do that. And she did it all live in one hit without fumbling any of it. So
Right, we need her on Vera Jackson.
nice work there, Amanda.
That was great.
Yeah, but obviously absolutely devastating. And then one great video to watch, F-Spot, who usually goes around looking at cars, you know, as far as what's on the street and all that stuff. He did a wildfire video as it was happening, and it was just nuts. He's in his Tesla Model 3 that has the biohazard mode and all that stuff, and it was really dangerous, but pretty amazing. And then there, you know, as I'm sure you all are seeing, just tons and tons of stuff on Instagram. But there was one that was really heartbreaking for me because it was this guy just coming to the realization that he's going to lose all of his collector cars. Like,
Oh gosh.
his fence is burning.
Oh gosh.
There's what looks like a Chevelle in a square body.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know the outcome of it, but it doesn't look good.
It's scary to me to see the fires so close and how he's still able to film everything. And
Right.
hasn't left the area. And that's like I said about the Grand National, like these cars could have very special sentimental meaning to them that you can't replace that.
Right.
I mean, I refer to cars as girls all the time. They have their own personalities, quirks and features and all that to them, and you can't replace them.
Right. That was a sad one. That one definitely got me. And then just some of the photos, like this Mustang Fastback, just sitting there. You know, I assume right outside of a garage or in a house or whatever. Another car collection there, just completely gone.
Oh no.
Here's like a garage, so it would have been like a, repair garage or a warehouse or
Wow.
whatever.
Yeah.
Lots of amazing pre-war stuff.
Which you literally can't replace because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of them left.
So old Buick there, but it's pretty sickening for sure. This one was a collector car restorer here, and he's just going through his building in the aftermath of all that, just completely wiped out. This one you can see is kind of interesting because the way aluminum melts on the bumpers. So this is a Mercedes. It sort of forms a weird thing on the ground. When it dries, the aluminum bits as far as the trim and everything else. So that was interesting.
pretty
But there's
wild.
one in this guy. He's narrating it, and he's such a California bra, Bro, the Porsche. It is really sad, but his reaction's super genuine for a California dude.
Totally.
Bro,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, that's that one. 996. So that's like Apollo 911 back there. But then
Right.
there's looks like a 964. So that's maybe a Mercedes convertible in front of it.
It's just interesting to see how they've melted in different ways. Like, does a fiberglass body compared to like a carbon fiber body would hold up better?
Right. Well, it's interesting because one you can see it's like an aftermarket wide body on this air-cooled Porsche, and with the paint all melted away, you can see it. This one here, right there. Yeah. But it's rough out there, most certainly.
Yeah,
So if you can afford to donate, we'll have the link below for
Right.
that. And of course, everything revenue coming from this video will chip in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still going on. The fires aren't fully contained. The winds have been kicking up and down. So prayers and definitely donate to the link below.
I'll stick to my naders in Kansas. I don't think I'll move to California.
No, not anytime soon.
The wildfire thing, that is scary stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks so much for watching.